Ladies and gentlemen, fellow lads, they've done it. Recently, Marvel has teased a new book called Gwenpool, in which we're bringing Gwen Stacy back to life.
It's crazy to me that we've made jokes about this in past videos, being like, at least Gwen Stacy has been brought back to life. I can't believe it. I'm in disbelief right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Thomas.
I'm Merlin.
Together we're the Comic Lads, and today, nothing is sacred.
I like fucking hate Marvel.
Alright guys, before we get into how this malarkey has come about, question of the week, what do you think about Gwen being dug up and coming back to life? Let us know in the comments down below. We've got some feelings about it.
Are you team life Gwen or stay in the grave Gwen? Because we're definitely the latter.
Oh, 100%. And before we get into it guys, make sure to drop a like on the video. It really helps us out.
And consider subscribing.
Become one with the lads.
I think before we get into this, let's just talk about why Gwen was killed in the first place.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone knows that she's dead, and it's like, in terms of the most important life events for Peter Parker, it goes Uncle Ben's death,
Gwen's death,
Gwen Stacy's death, and then like every bullshit thing that's happened with Mephisto and Paul and fucking selling his marriage to the devil. Gwen Stacy's death is a pivotal moment in comic books.
Not just Peter's life, but like you said, comic books in general. This was like the first big death in comics that stayed.
Yeah, it marked the end of the Silver Age.
Yes.
You know, that was the comic that pushed us into more mature storytelling.
Yeah.
And it's a huge, huge mental scar on Peter's psyche going forward. That's even felt to this very day.
They've done dozens of ridiculous stories in which, you know, the Jackal clones Gwen for the umpteenth time. And every time she's there, Pete is like awestruck and heartbroken and like losing it. Like, it's fresh for him every time.
Can I just say on a side note, I have a comic that I read as a kid. Like, one of the first standalone issues I ever got.
Is it where she melts?
It's exactly. It's where she's close. She comes back and she's like, wait, what's happening to me? And she just starts to melt.
Yeah, she's like, Peter,
It is horrifying, dude. The art has stuck with me all these years.
Actually, like, the most blasphemous thing.
I know.
Well, actually, it's not the most blasphemous thing, because that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah, so let's talk about what this actual news means and what they're setting up for future Marvel.
Yeah, so a few weeks ago, Marvel posted a teaser image with the tagline, "Nothing is sacred." Awesome. Thanks, guys.
You already know you're about to get cooked.
Jesus, thanks, Marvel. And the image showed Gwen Stacy's grave dug up with an ominous figure's shadow cast over the grave. And I'm just like, who asked for this?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as we saw that, before we even knew, like, more information that we're about to talk about now, we texted each other and we were like, Marvel's lost it. They've lost the plot.
They've flushed the plot down the toilet.
Yeah. Like, Gwen Stacy, God, why are we doing this,
like,
man?
Who wants her back? Especially as Dark Gwenpool. We're reading an article by Games Radar talking about their new series announcement.
Quote, she's gonna be dug up and infused with Weapon X style abilities as a darker, deadlier, and even more unhinged Gwenpool.
This is like a really bad, like, 5th grade lunch table idea.
I don't know what this obsession is with, like, okay, like, Spider-Gwen is one thing.
Yeah, well, that's not digging her up. This is an alternate universe good story.
Yeah, but we already have a Gwenpool, which already, like, I'm sorry, I'm not really on board with just turning, like, any character into a version of Deadpool. I think it's kind of a bit stupid.
Yeah, it
like,
just
Gwenpool.
It just dilutes the brand. And you know, listen, Gwenpool is not even really a Deadpool character. She's like her own meta commentary, like, comedy thing. And
yeah, but we already have that, is what I'm saying.
I know. Why do we need a dark
Now we need a dark Gwenpool, and she's the mainline Gwen Stacy, dug up and revived and fucking psychologically broken and given Weapon X style abilities.
It's such a, like, weak, like, half-baked idea too, just the way they word it. Like, we're gonna dig her up and give her Weapon X abilities. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? You're gonna give her claws? There's a reason Wolverine has those claws. It's because he can, like, handle the procedure. Like, what the fuck? Like, Gwen? Like,
I know, it's absolutely bonkers. And you might be thinking, like, look, the current state of Spider-Man comics is in absolute disarray. We've talked about it multiple times, you know, with the whole Zeb Wells run and just dismantling Peter's love life.
Thankfully, that has come to an end now. Zeb Wells is off.
But all that's to say, you might be thinking, like, oh, maybe they're trying to introduce Gwen as a, you like reintroduce her as like a Spider-Man character and get her as like a prominent love interest again.
Not even, dude.
That's not what they're doing.
I don't think this Gwenpool book with dug up Gwen will have an ounce of Spider-Man in it, bro.
Well, apparently it's gonna be a dark Gwenpool. It's gonna be a dark Gwenpool story featuring Kate Bishop and Jeff the fucking Landshark.
It's like just such a like blatant rivals synergistic move, you know?
Jeff the Landshark. It's not even a Spider-Man story.
Of course not.
They're
bro.
bringing back Gwen Stacy, Peter's beloved first love, and they're reviving her as a dark Gwenpool and having her team up with Kate Bishop and Jeff the Landshark.
Well, don't forget the original Gwenpool also.
Oh yeah, and the original Gwenpool.
How could you forget that, bro? Is it too like wishful thinking of me to hope that like I hope Pete just never finds out about this in the canon?
Dude, hasn't he been through enough?
I know.
Jesus
Has
Christ.
he not gone through enough? He has to look at his first love's corpse walking around in a Deadpool suit.
And like, I know a lot of people might argue like, oh, well, they did the same with Jason Todd. Like, I'm sure you guys love Red Hood.
That's a good story, though.
Yeah, but also it's so different because
Yeah.
the context of Jason Todd's death was completely different than what Gwen Stacy's death was like. They put a poll out to ask people if they wanted Jason Todd to live or die.
Yeah, which proves that his death was a creatively bankrupt decision. Marvel had balls to kill Gwen, and it was like a good move and a pivotal story. And I don't understand how this is a win.
It's not a win.
You know? Like, but like in anyone's mind, and I'm not trying to like shit on creators. Like, we're not gonna like, this guy sucks. But like, I don't like, what's the move here?
What an absolute honor to tear both Gwenpool and Spider-Man world apart. Yes, please, Gwen Stacy is back from the grave and deadlier than ever. Weapon X style abilities? Check. Align and killer put downs? You've got it. This is not the Gwen you remember.
Yeah, I just like, it's so gross. And they're like framing it as if like they know it's gross, and they're like, haha, aren't you guys with us? And I'm like, no.
Yeah, and if it's not the Gwen you remember, why don't you just make it another Gwen?
Or another character.
Yeah. It's everything wrong with the modern state of comics. Like, I'm sorry. Just like fucking wow factor, cash grabby, stupid fucking like, no, but it's true.
It is true.
Like, what is the reasoning for this? Besides like oh my god, Gwen Stacy's back to life, I need to grab the first issue.
It's just crazy too, because I'm like, how as CB Cebulski are you just like, yeah, green light, for sure. How? What about this sounds like it's a good idea and not like supremely disrespectful to not only the characters, but to like creators past that have done the work to help Pete heal from this.
You know, when we've talked about what we consider the best Spider-Man comic of all time, we made a whole video about it. Spider-Man Blue by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. Incredible work of art, incredible work of writing, and it's like, I'm just sick of Marvel like staining their own brand.
Yeah, I am too. The tagline too, nothing is sacred. I'm like, that's so gross, man.
And it's also just like a fuck you to the fans.
Yeah,
it's like, no, guys, nothing is sacred. We're gonna like bring back to life these characters even though it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And you're gonna eat it up and you're gonna buy issue 1, aren't you? Because Gwen's back. Look, Gwen's back, buy her issue. I don't know. I mean, look, I don't think we're trying to be haters. You know, all respect to comic book writers
and artists.
It's a hard industry. It's a dying industry. We need to support it.
Yeah.
But this
is not the move, dog.
This is not the move, and I'm just tired, man.
I know. Like,
are we being haters? I don't know.
I think we are being haters in this video, but I don't think it's unjustified. I think we gotta be in the vast majority of people that are just like, why don't you just make a new Gwenpool comic? You know? I don't like, guys, let us know in the comments down below. Do you think we're overreacting here? Do you think we're being haters? There's a very good chance that like it's not even her and that it's like fake and it's like clickbaity bullshit.
But I feel like
but even that is just like, why would you even get people riled up for that if you're not even gonna do it?
And it almost makes me feel like they're kind of gonna test the water to see how people react to it, and then fucking change the ending to appease whatever audience they insulted.
Yeah, sure.
You know, like they're gonna be like, oh, but guys, guess what? Even though you're really mad, it wasn't the actual Gwen. It's still buried.
It's just like such a bad can of worms to open too, because
you're
like
losing every way.
You're losing, and like, what do we do next? You know, is Uncle Ben gonna come back as like fucking like the Dark Omega Red or something? Like, I don't fucking know. if Gwen comes back in this book and is a character that stays and like doesn't die again at the end of the book, all we have left is Uncle Ben.
And even that, I'm not so sure.
And then and I'm like,
Dutch.
and I'm like, is the clock ticking for his resurrection? Like,
I guarantee you, we're gonna be making a video on it one day.
Yeah,
I guarantee it.
And I guarantee you, like, that will be the last straw. Like, if they bring Uncle Gwen,
Uncle Gwen.
if they bring Uncle Ben back, that is the last 616 Spidey book I will ever buy. Period.
Yeah,
I don't care.
I agree.
I'll read Ultimate for however long it lasts.
I agree. Guys, that's just our thoughts. As you can tell, we're a little bit heated in this video.
At first I was like dying of laughter because it's just so funny reading it, but now thinking about it, I'm like, it's so nasty.
Well, it just feels like we're in a fucking Elseworld story, right?
Yeah, we are. We've already established that we're in like a bonkers wrong timeline.
Yeah, like this timeline someone needs to prune us. Like, that's all I gotta say. Like, bro, we deserve to get fucking shut down by the TVA at this point.
Dude. But guys, that's just our thoughts. What do you think? Are we overreacting? Do you guys agree with us? Do you not? Let us know in the comments down below. We really want to know what you think, because it's just such a crazy can of worms that they've opened.
It's like the most insane article I've ever read.
I know.
Relating comic books.
Leave a like on the video. It really helps us out. Subscribe if you haven't already. Become one with the comic lads.
And we love you.
We love you dearly.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.